They sold you the ultimate lie. Trade the best years of your life for the promise of a golden retirement. You were told to work for 40 years, constantly feeding a portion of your paycheck into the system. Wait until you are 65, they say. Then you will finally be free to enjoy your life. But the American retirement system is not a safety net. It is a highly profitable casino for Wall Street. The 401k is marketed as a massive benefit, a corporate matching gift for your loyalty. In reality, it is the greatest legally sanctioned wealth extraction machine ever engineered. It guarantees that millions of workers automatically pump billions of dollars into the stock market every single week. You are blindly trusting institutions with your life savings, locking away your liquidity for decades. While you take 100% of the financial risk, they take their guaranteed cut. Today, we dismantle the deferred life plan and expose the dark reality of your retirement account. To understand the trap, you have to look at what the elite stole from the middle class. Decades ago, companies offered pensions, a guaranteed income for life paid by the employer. But corporate America realized pensions were far too expensive for their profit margins. So in the 1980s, they executed the greatest financial sleight of hand in history. They utilized an obscure tax loophole called the 401k to completely shift the burden. They shifted 100% of the investment risk directly onto your shoulders. Suddenly, factory workers and teachers were forced to become amateur stock market investors. The 401k was never designed to be a primary retirement vehicle for the working class. It was a massive downgrade, cleverly marketed to the public as financial empowerment. And it allowed Wall Street to tap directly into the paychecks of everyday Americans. The most dangerous part of this system is the invisible drain hidden deep within the paperwork. Financial advisors tell you not to worry about a 1 or 2% management fee. It sounds tiny, completely harmless, but over a 30-year timeline, it is devastating. Thanks to compound interest, that tiny fee can consume nearly a third of your total lifetime returns. You are effectively buying your fund manager a yacht while you hope to afford a decent nursing home. And here's the most brilliant part of their scam. The fees are absolute. If the market crashes and your life savings are cut in half, the fund managers still get paid. They take their percentage of your money, whether they make you a profit or lose your entire portfolio. You provide all the capital, you take all the risk, but Wall Street skims the cream off the top every single year. Your retirement account is nothing more than a permanent slush fund for the financial elite. By contributing to these accounts, you voluntarily lock yourself in a liquidity prison. If you experience a medical emergency or want to start a business, you cannot touch your own money. If you try to withdraw it early, the government hits you with massive, crippling penalties. They intentionally starve you of capital during the years when you actually have the energy to build an empire. And while your money is locked in this bureaucratic vault, the inflation monster is eating it alive. $1 million sounds like a massive fortune today, but by the time you are allowed to touch it in 30 years, its purchasing power will be obliterated. You are locking up today's valuable dollars only to be paid back in tomorrow's worthless, inflated currency. This lack of liquidity forces you to stay completely dependent on your employer. You are financing your own captivity. The final lie of the 401k is the promise of the tax advantage. They lure you in by telling you that your contributions are tax deferred.
But tax deferred simply means you are delaying the pain to a later, more vulnerable date. Look at the national debt. Look at the out-of-control spending of the bureaucratic state. Do you truly believe that income tax rates will be lower 30 years from now? The government is letting you grow the harvest now so they can take a much larger slice later. When you finally retire, you will be forced to withdraw the money, known as required minimum distributions, and you will be taxed at whatever draconian rate the government decides they need at that exact moment. You are making a decades-long blind bet against a government that is completely addicted to spending. The retirement system is the ultimate trap for the compliant middle class. Financial advisors tell you to blindly chase a magic number, usually $1 million, but the traditional 4% withdrawal rule is based on an outdated economic reality. Living on $40,000 a year in the future will put you completely below the poverty line. They mathematically manipulate the official inflation numbers to hide the true cost of survival. Medical costs, property taxes, and energy bills are rising exponentially faster than your portfolio. Your fixed income will be violently stretched until it completely snaps. The system relies on you running out of money just as you run out of time. You are trading the most energetic years of your youth for a fragile, underfunded old age. The finish line keeps moving, and the math guarantees you will never actually cross it. A millionaire in 30 years will be the equivalent of a minimum wage worker today. You must realize who you are actually playing against in the stock market casino. You are up against high-frequency algorithms, insider politicians, and massive hedge funds. It's a rigged game where Wall Street can see your hand before you even play it. They engineer market bubbles, tricking retail investors into buying at the absolute peak. And right before the crash, the elites quietly exit, leaving you holding the bag. Your 401k is the buffer that absorbs the massive impact when Wall Street makes a mistake. When they fail, the government bails them out using your tax dollars. When you fail, you are forced to work at a grocery store at the age of 70. The consistent flow of your 401k money is the dumb capital that props up their entire game. You are not an investor. You are the exit liquidity for the financial elite. So, how do you escape the deferred life trap and build true financial sovereignty? You must fundamentally shift your mindset from passive accumulation to active creation. The ultra-wealthy do not park their core wealth in paper assets controlled by a fund manager. They build and acquire assets that produce positive cash flow right now, today. Instead of funding a corporation's stock price, you must fund your own enterprise. Build a business, buy a cash-flowing property, or acquire a high-income digital skill. You need investments where you have direct control over the outcome and the revenue. A business that generates $10,000 a month gives you freedom immediately. You do not have to wait until your body is broken and old to enjoy the fruits of your labor. True retirement is not an age. It is a financial number that you can hit in your 20s. The elite use a completely different financial architecture to protect their wealth. They use instruments like overfunded life insurance policies to act as their own private bank. These policies grow tax-free, and they can borrow against them tax-free while still earning interest. They use strategic debt to buy real estate, forcing the tenants to pay off the mortgage. The tax code is written to heavily reward producers, business owners, and real estate developers. They legally wipe out their tax liabilities through depreciation and business expenses, while the W-2 employee with a 401k is taxed at the absolute highest possible rate. You must learn to play the game by the rules of the elite, not the rules of the worker. The moment you take control of your capital, you step out of the slaughterhouse. You become the master of your own financial destiny. Time is the only non-renewable resource you possess. Do not sell it cheap. Stop locking your life force away in a system that is engineered to drain you. Break the conditioning that tells you suffering now is required for happiness later. The Matrix wants you passive, hopeful, and entirely dependent on the state. We want you active, ruthlessly competent, and entirely sovereign. The deferred life plan is a scam. Your life is happening right now. Do not let Wall Street gamble with your future. Take the power back. We are handing you the blueprints to the real economy. Subscribe to Reality.